Welcome to another video for grammars, and today we are having a very important lecture which is on auxiliaries, modals and prepositions. As for prepositions, we have another video. It's a single video on prepositions, but in today's lecture we are going to discuss about auxiliaries and modals. When it comes to IELTS, it is foremost for us to write and speak grammatically very correct sentences, because of course in order to maximize your bands in our band descriptor, there is this aspect, there is this factor of grammar. So if we are speaking and writing grammatically incorrect sentences, we are likely to get less bands. So let's start with auxiliaries and modals. Let's talk about auxiliaries. What is an auxiliary verb? So an auxiliary verb is also called as helping verb. A verb is used in forming tenses, moods and voices. The other verbs, it comes before some verbs. So verb, we all know any sort of action is verb, right? He's dancing, he's playing, he's speaking, he's eating. Every action is verb. But auxiliaries are helping verbs. Those verbs which come before a word, a main verb, those are called as helping verb or auxiliary verbs. And auxiliary verbs, they form tenses, moods and voice of the verb. Let's see how. The auxiliary verbs of English are following. Modals like can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought, need. And non-modals would be is, am, are, were, be, has, have, had to. Now, let's take an example. I do work diligently. Johnny does not steal the chocolates. They did win the last championship. So now do, does, did, all of these are modals. Now, let's talk about to have, has, had. I have eaten all my food. John had cycled out the town in the scorching heat. Now understand this one thing. What could be the difference between have and had? Have is something which we are already doing. I have eaten all my food. So eaten would be the verb over here, and have. Have describes the tense, like when this kind of task has been performed. Like I have eaten all my foods. John had cycled out. So John had cycled out, it means John had did something, right? John has already done that task. So we are talking about past over here. Now let's talk about to be, like am, is, are, was, were, been. Kylie is singing at Wembley Stadium. Why Kylie is singing? Because Kylie is one person, right? I was beaten by a better player. So I was beaten. I am also a single person who was beaten in past. Now if I talk about plural, then it was they were beaten by another team. Understand? Now in modal is always the first verb in the verb group. It comes before auxiliaries be and have. She might be going to Switzerland for Christmas. Now, might be going. I would have liked to see her. Sam may not be able to attempt this test. Lisa could have achieved a higher score if she had prepared. So may, might, would, could, all of these are modals. So this is the practice time. Let's see how we have grasped this topic. There dash some milk in the cup. So there was some milk in the cup. She has her son with her yesterday, or she had her son with her yesterday. What should we use between have, has and had? It would be had. Reason? Because we are talking about yesterday. Yesterday is a past event. When it comes to past event, we use had with it. I dash to come early to my office last week. Again, when we are talking about last week, it's had. I had to come early to my office last week. The sales representative had a meeting last Wednesday. Again, we have had. So this is how we do. Whenever we are using any sort of modals in the sentences, any sort of verbs in the sentences, we need to make sure that in what tense the particular sentence is in. Is it a past tense, present tense, or a future tense? Now, let's talk about modal verb and modal verbs are a type of an auxiliary verbs which express the mood of another verb. For instance, have to means an obligation. It means something which you have to do, something you are obliged to do. Must is another obligation. Don't have to means you don't have to do that, right? It's not an obligation. And must not is a prohibition. Let's see how. All of these auxiliaries are used to express ability, permission, obligation, deduction, prediction, speculation, possibility, necessity, and prohibition. For instance, you have to come to the classes by tomorrow at 12, right? So you have to come. It means you have no other option but you have to come, right? So it shows that you are obliged to do that. So these are the examples of modal verbs when it comes to can. So it happens so many times that we are tend to get confused with whether to use can, whether to use could, would, must, might. What is it that we should use in the particular sentence? Now all of them modal verbs, they sound similar, right? So what we actually do is we just try to use them interchangeably in different sentences, but that is not the case. We cannot use modal verbs interchangeably in all the sentences because every modal verb has its own meaning. Every modal verb speaks something else. For example, if you're talking about can is like a permission or ability to do things. Can I open the window? It's a permission. She can complete the task in 2 days. It means it's showing its ability. Yes, she can complete the task in 2 days. May speaks about possibility and formal permission. Right? I may be home late. It may rain tomorrow. But when it comes to permission, may I sit down please? If you recall when you used to be a kid, you used to ask before entering in the classroom like may I come in? Why? Because you are taking permission, right? You never used to say can I come in? Why? Because can is something you use when you are informally taking permission. For instance, if you are talking to your friend, you would say can I use your pen? But you are talking to your supervisor, if you are talking to your senior, you would say may I use your pen? If we talk about could is also a possibility. That story could be true. It could rain. Now, when it comes to formal request, we also use could. Could you tell me the way to station please? Now, must is obligation and strong belief. I must go now. It means I have to go. I have no other option. I am in hurry, right? And when we are talking about a strong belief, she must be over 90 years old. She must be scoring good marks as compared to you. Why? Because you strongly believe something, and when you interpret your own belief, it's must. Might is slightly possibility. We might win a prize, but I doubt it. Shall. Shall is something which offers or suggestions in a formal way. I shall be in London on Monday. Shall we go? Shall we have a lunch together? So it's a slight formal. Then when we can also use shall with I and we. Shall we begin the meeting now? So it's a formal permission. Would is a request or an offer in a formal way. Would you like to have a cup of tea? Would you like to study something else today? Then we have will. Information about future or orders. We will reach home before midnight. So will is something which we use will with future tense only, right? I will fly by tomorrow. Now when we talk about will, shall, and would, there is a certain difference, right? Will is giving information about future when we are ready to open or doing something, or if we talk about some rules or regulation. Nobody will talk in class. We all will go by bus tomorrow, right? Shall is to make offers and promises using we or I. I shall I use your pen, right? To make suggestions using I and we. We shall move now. We shall eat now. To express some formal obligation. You shall not do that. Would is expectations in past and habits in past. I would, if I would have been child, I would be eating Cerelac now. So we are talking about past, right? कि अगर past में something has been happening. Now, if we talk about will, we will head home after work. Sure, I'll have cup of tea, thanks. Guests shall not move anything. So will is very easy because will, we use will in simple future tense as well. So will, the use of will is very easy. But when it comes to can and could, it could be a little bit tricky for people, that when do we use can, when do we use could, because we use all the modals in a very interchangeable way. So can is to explain the possibility in general, to offer something for others, to ask or give permission or request something. Can I use your pen? Yes, you can go now. Can you come tomorrow by 1:30 please? Could is like expressing past ability, polite word to ask for permission. Now let's have a comparison between these two and understand it thoroughly. It can be dangerous to cycle in city. I know you can win the competition, right? Can, to express possibility, to give permission. Could you pass me that salt, please? He couldn't have painted that. He couldn't have painted that. He has no artistic ability at all. So he couldn't have painted that, which means a person has not painted that. And it's a past possibility, past prediction. Now should and must. Express advisability, a suggestion. It is advisable or this is a suggestion. Should is weaker than must. And when it comes to must expresses a stronger point of view. We need to, we have to. The modal must also express the opinion of one person's point of view. Now let's have a comparison, and it will have a very thorough understanding. People should protect the environment. Yeah, people should protect the environment. It's an advice, right? Engineer must redesign engines so that they are more fuel efficient. Now, it is a very strong point of view of a person. Engineer must design it. Next, we have may and might. May is used to express something which is possible, which is factual, or it can be a fact. And may is also used to ask permission in a very formal way, like may I come in. Might is used to something which is hypothetical, which is counterfactual or remotely possible, something which is on probability, right? And it's also used as past tense of might. For instance, if I talk about who has opened my laptop. Oh, I might have opened your laptop. Why? Because you are not sure if you have done that or not. But we are talking about past. So might can also be used as the past form of may. The weather might be better tomorrow. Craig might know his results soon. You may go to the wedding reception if there is a cash bar. Now, all of these are practice time, like how you have the thorough understanding of all the auxiliaries and modals. And then we have prepositions. For prepositions, I will direct you to the single lecture of preposition, in which I have explained all and everything about prepositions. That's all from my side in this lecture. Hope you got the very deep understandings of modal and auxiliaries. When it comes to grammar, it would be highly recommendable that you go through the lecture again and again so that you have better understanding of how to use grammar very properly. Because for instance, if you are someone who is very good at and very fluent when it comes to speaking English, but you are doing very little grammar mistakes, it would be possible that your bands are not up to the mark then.